So, Tim Whitehead, dude, thank you so much for joining me on this one. I'm so stoked to have you on. There's so much to chat about, from travel to business to your ventures coming up to the ones that you've achieved already. Thank you for coming on the show and thank you for agreeing to do this with me.
Sure, Joshi, thank you. Hello, buenos dias from Costa Rica. I don't know if you've got a beer there with you, but I've got a coffee and I've had two double espressos, so I'm flying a little bit, so bear with me if I speak a bit too much.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you so much for having me. I love your work. I've seen some of your stuff, so let's chat, man. I'm so keen.
Thank you, brother. I was actually going to crack a beer. I got my training, work, everything done before this to crack a beer, and then I was like, how much of an asshole would I be to crack a beer while you can't? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, screw that, we'll just have the chat on some coffee and we'll crack a beer afterwards in celebration. But yeah, once again, thank you for coming on. As you can see, where Tim's based looks like paradise. So you're now in Costa Rica.
Yes, a place called Santa Teresa, a very small beach town. It's literally one street along the coast, it's about between 5 and 7 kilometers long, broken up into 3 little towns. Probably one of the best places in the world to learn how to surf, and I went out for the first time properly 2-3 months ago, so literally that's one of the reasons we're here, to learn how to surf. My girlfriend's Spanish, she's Colombian, and I've never been to Central South America. That's why this was the stop for us. To Colombia first, now we're in Costa Rica, and we pleasantly stuck here, I should say.
Dude, that's so dope. That's what I was saying to you earlier, and that, like, obviously the whole world's in a little bit of a sticky situation right now. Going to Costa Rica with your Spanish girlfriend so that you can surf is probably one of the best power moves I've heard all year.
Look, it was tough, Joshy? I mean, we did touch on it earlier, but travel to me is the one thing in life that gets you, it's the easiest way to get out of your comfort zone. And when you're out of your comfort zone, you're more present and you're more in the now, and you're less focused on next thing. Oh, what's the plan this weekend? What's next weekend? And I feel like, well, I used to live in Cape Town before I came here. And I felt like, as much as I love the community there, it was so like, who's who and who's banging who and who's with who. Like, guys, like, let's get over it, man. Come on, let's just live in the now and like love each other, respect each other, and just move on. I mean, it was a little bit incestuous, but at the same time, like, I loved it and I really want to go back like every year. But I was in this startup called Frankie's. We'll touch on that later. And I'd worked my arse off for like 3-4 years, from idea phase to launch phase to we're getting to a point where we got some really good traction. And the thing with a startup is there's just no middle ground. You're either high or you're low, and it takes off your energy dramatically, and it becomes a way of life. You get used to it, but I started feeling that it wasn't as good for my mental health as general life should be. My girlfriend's, she's a bit of a life coach, yoga instructor. She's like very much in the, you need to be living your life that is for you. And I was so lost down this rabbit hole startup that I just needed to get out. So essentially, I had a really, really good play with the guys who invested in the company, and great people, other brand owners, and they're going to take over the reins and drive the thing. And I got to a position where I maintained a stake, released myself from operations.
Well played, dude. Well played.
Sort of watch it grow and like advise from the brand perspective. But it allowed us to get on the road and just go and experience as much of the world as we can in as much time as we have, which is obviously now prolonged with the coronavirus lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, we aren't going anywhere. So basically, it's tough to take that first step, but I mean, everyone says, "Oh, I wish I could be doing what you're doing." I mean, you can, but you just need to take the step. I mean, it's a mission that you know what it's like. It's like everyone, to get out of the comfort zone is tough.
But I think that's what's so interesting out of you saying that was that you worked your ass off for however many years initially, and that created such a strong foundation for you, both, you know, mentally, business-wise. You know, you were able to build up, whether it's contacts, knowledge, whatever it is in the business space, to make these moves and to change your life. So for you, I don't like asking many questions, but this question is important for the chat. Looking at what you've achieved and what you've done and the life decisions and the choices you made to build your own ventures and start your own stuff, do you think it's easier for you to have that view of just travel, live your life, do what you can when you have shares and stakeholding in successful businesses? Or do you think that that's a possibility for the general public in some way to kind of swindle their life to allow themselves the freedom of living the way that they want to?
Yeah, look, I'll take it back a step. obviously everything I say it's individual to me. I mean, some guys might like a 50-year corporate life where they're climbing the ladder, becoming
No, for sure, yeah.
So in my mind, I mean, being South African, you were born in South Africa, right? Well, okay.
I'm a Safa through and through.
We come Safa, bro.
There we go.
We come from the South African way of life is very conservative. When you meet the Aussies, when you meet the Europeans, people from all over the world, it's very much like, I take risks, I'll travel on and then travel with the money I've got, and then they've got like 10 rand in the bank and they phone their folks for a flight back home, and then they just carry on. We just don't live like that. We're so focused on, because it's been indoctrinated into us from a young age, like safety, security, pension funds, and that's all good. Like that, as I said, each to their own, you know. But for me, I grew up like that. Straight out of school, went to UCT, business science, wanted to become a CA because that's what I thought society was acceptable in society. I mean, it's once again, what does society think is good, worth it? Bullshit, man. Like, what do you want to do? But if you want to sell pizzas on the beach in Costa Rica for the rest of your life and that makes you happy, fuck the rest, man. Just go for it. So I started walking along the very, very conservative lines when I was in high school, small-town PE boy, grade high school, UCT. Got into rugby at UCT, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Robbie Fleck was my coach, and he said, bro, you're good. You shit hard. You can go big if you want to. And I was like, man, I'm playing to meet people. I'm playing to have a couple of beers afterwards. I love people. People give me energy. So eventually I just took the chance, and I experienced that contract at Western Province for the first time, and with the Sharks and then the Kings. And my life started going into all these different directions, and I started to fall in love with like what I didn't understand. So it was like whatever's new to me like made me tick, and I was like, shit, that's cool. And in the rugby game, what happens is guys at 15 realize they're really good at rugby, and they say, I want to be a Bok. As they leave school, they go to like an institute just to play rugby, and then they become a pro, and then at 32 to 35 they decide I'm quitting, and then because you've got no business knowledge at 35, you realize the only road you really have to be successful is becoming a coach, because that's all you really know. You only know rugby. Then you become a coach, you're a kid, he becomes a pro, and eventually your whole life is rugby. Now, the number of old guys that I've spoken to on a golf course or in a pub somewhere, if you ever go to an old dude and you say, like, dude, give me some advice. As a young person, you like 65, 70, give me the best advice you have. First thing to say is, and I don't necessarily agree with it, some people might, bang as many chicks as you can. Whatever.
If you're about that life, then, you know, if that's what you want to do, go for it, brother. Yeah.
The old dudes are saying, that's what I'm just quoting. Second thing they said is, life is all about experience, dude. The more you experience, the more you can sit on your deathbed, having a whiskey with your family, saying, hey guys, what a ride.
Yeah.
For me, when I started playing rugby and I saw how everyone was just rugby, I was like, if I'm sitting at 60 and all I've done is rugby, what an injustice to this life that we're allowed to live. So I think I just started realizing it. And I just wanted to do more. I wanted to start a business. I wanted to travel the world, experience cultures. Now it's like I want to learn to surf and I want to learn how to speak Spanish. So once I started, and to go back, while I was playing rugby, every now and then you get a 2-week break. But it's not like, okay guys, in January we know we're going to have a 2-week break in June because you might make the semi-final and then it's the race, you can't book anything. So what happens is the guys who like travel will be told, all right, you've got 2 weeks off from now, or like come back in 2 weeks' time. So you hop on a flight and book into Cambodia or Thailand or the Philippines or whatever, or the US or wherever the visa allows you to go. And you just start living in the now and you start experiencing that comfort zone shock and what travel, how it ignites this whole like this free way of living and this lifestyle. So the more I experienced that through my career, the more I just wanted to do more in terms of business, in terms of being present, in terms of mainly, and now since I hit 30, I'm 30, turning 32 this year, but it's so weird, but for some reason the more I live, the more I want to understand my mind, my heart, and this body, and how it all works together. So I'm very open to like, obviously marijuana, I enjoy that to chill out. I don't do it much at all, but I have done it. Mushrooms, like to open the mind and experience what's sort of going on in your head, all this sort of stuff. And for me, it's an injustice to live a life that you're sort of holding back because you're worried about what society expects of you and what you think is going to be accepted because of this conservative society that you and I both come from. So I think I'm just in this position where I just want to live, man. I just want to live as much as I can.
That's what's so encouraging about the way that you've decided to live life. And that, like, I actually had a friend on recently where we spoke on the whole marijuana thing. THC, CBD, the whole shooting match. We kind of went over everything and the benefits of both, how they can become negative, how it can become addictive, but how it's not an addictive substance as a whole, as for what it stands. So many positives. I've been watching a lot of videos on mushrooms as well, just to understand the stuff. It's not my thing. I can't speak forever and I can't speak for everyone, but as of right now, it's not really my thing for the space that I'm in. But I can see the benefits. And I know a lot of people that microdose and it helps them tremendously because it keeps them away from anxiety medication and depression medication. And look, if that's what it's doing for you, dude, knock yourself out. Microdose every day of your damn life, because I don't understand what it's like to live with depression. I understand anxiety, but there's people that have it through the roof where it's unbearable. Imagine living a life, you vary about the now. Imagine living a life where it's about the now, and no matter what you do, you can't get your brain and your heart and soul into that place. And so you've got medication all the time to try help you get there, but it creates that numbing wall between the now and, you know, it, out of what I've been explained, it almost looks like you living from behind. So you're watching everything play out in front of you, and that's the exact opposite of what you're saying about being in the now. So just to touch on that, the whole marijuana and mushroom thing, I love that you brought that up. That's a dope conversation. I think when it comes to skills like learning Spanish and surfing, I haven't surfed in forever, but every damn day I wake up and I'm like, shit, I need to get the board out and go for a surf again. I'm really bad at it, but I don't give a single shit about how good I am. Dude, it's so much fun. And learning languages, I've got a thing for listening to, I don't know if you've heard of ASMR. I spoke about this recently as well on an episode. It's an auditory sensory type thing where you listen to certain music or someone speaking at a certain pitch and tone, and the pitch and tone that they speak at resonates with certain brainwaves. That helps you to relax. It's incredible. Obviously guys have like made it a bit sketchy. You know, there's like women and dudes that create them and they're like, hey, and I'm like, this is a bit weird, you know, like, you know, they got a booby hanging out, or the guy's taking his shirt, and I'm like, nah, that's a little bit scary. Yeah, it's alright. But look, if that's your thing, knock yourself out again. But so I got into that, and I started listening to French at this like really, really low pitched whisper, and dude, knocks me out. And I love languages.
Seriously?
Yeah, dude.
Just like an audio book before bed kind of thing. And you just
that kind of thing. So what I do is I either listen to, I'm big on like affirmation and positive words and speaking things over your life and manifesting. I believe that is one of the most important things. And so I spend a lot of time doing that, like writing things down and circling them, or randomly in the day, I look like a crazy person, but randomly in the day, I'll be repeating things to myself, right? So I'll be in the gym busy and I'll be speaking to myself going, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, or you know, work harder, like whatever it is, just repeating things to myself. Dude, it does, because...
But tell me, do you ever feel like sometimes you can drift away from it because you get into a bad habit, or not a bad habit, but like, because for me it's similar to yoga and stretching, and it's something like I love doing bodyweight exercises, but I don't stretch enough. And I know how great I feel after a stretch and how great I feel after yoga and meditation. But for some reason, sometimes I drift away from it because I don't feel like meditating today. But even though I know how beneficial it is. And then I get to a point where it's too far gone, and then I've got to really make an effort to get back into it.
I think that's just the flaw of being human, dude. I think like, you know, there was, I think yesterday or the day before, Jess and I were chilling, just having a bit of an off day. And when something that I do becomes a burden, so if I'm having an off day and I just want to sit outside in the sun, have a whiskey or 5, and just listen to music, get in the right headspace, read some scenes I enjoy, and just write some shit in my journal, then that's what I want to do. Whether it's for 5 minutes or 5 hours, there's no form of explanation that needs to come out of me doing that. I'm allowed to feel the way I want to feel. I'm allowed to have an off day, as is everyone. And I think when it comes to yoga, meditation, exercise, eating well, all these things that we know are extremely beneficial to our everyday lives, I think it's normal that we have those days, and that's just being human, dude. We
And
kind
it's
of
also important not to beat yourself up when you feel like
exactly,
it's not your day.
exactly.
I
think
mean, we're so quick to just be like, come on, we wake up, like, what are you doing? Hey, hang on, like, we're going to go through ups and downs, like, let it happen. It's like, I think it's the journey to like true enlightenment is like, to just not judge these negative thoughts that come into, because they're going to come into your mind. It's just trying to manage them and like let them pass by.
Yeah, and I think for me, what's always been a big thing is, I mean, obviously you've experienced it through playing like very high level rugby, in training daily and heavy weights, and you know, everyone wants to be the biggest and strongest guy in the room, and everyone wants to prove a point, and everyone's got an ego, and you know, whether it's a big one or a small one, everyone's got a percentage of that in that environment. Still good people, but that's very much alive and well in that side of life. And when I get sucked into that, then it becomes nothing is good enough. You know, you never look good enough, you're never strong enough, you're never fit enough, you know, this part isn't good enough, your calf, your muscle, your shoulder, your hand, your you know, whatever it is just isn't good enough. And then it becomes like chasing something that you can't catch. It becomes this constant chase of one certain thing, and so you start taking out all the other sides of life. Dude, I've been at a space where I don't want to go for a surf because it's cardio, like, and it's like, dude,
really, because you just try to bulk or what?
Yeah, just like I get personality. For me, I'm like 100% everything or nothing at all. So I can't do something as a hobby. I can't do something every Saturday because, oh, it's a Saturday, it's for fun. If I'm going to surf, then I want to go surf every single hour I have free. Like if I gym, then I'm going to gym every day, and I'm going to be stronger than him, and I'm going to look better than I looked last month, and I'm going to, you know, and that's what drives me. But that drive can so quickly flip and become a negative control of your life. And yeah, I think that's just kind of touching on what you've said about being open-minded and living in the now, in that that's what I've been touching on, trying to improve on, right? It's just like, dude, picking up the guitar and trying to learn something on guitar, and learning a language and listening to something different, and read a book that you would never read. I'm so bad with reading, dude. I bought 3 books and I haven't read any of them. I bought 3 books and I've read none of them.
And like, you got a Kindle, that'll change your life.
I have.
Sometimes you're not in the mood for a certain book, but you've got everything like on a little sort of PC, and you just like flip through them and change where you want to.
I have Audible, which helps. But what I end up doing then is I sit and listen, and I'm like, so, you know, like 10 minutes in, I'm like, well, I'll listen while I do this, and then I look again, I'm 50 pages in, and I've heard nothing. Like,
well, my issue with Audible is that like, I'm so ADD, I'll be like, I'm over this after 5 minutes, and if I don't like the person's voice, I cringe. I can't listen to the person. So
that's a real issue, dude. Someone's voice can drive you insane. So like, if I listen to it, I don't like your voice, I'm not going to listen further than the introduction. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's why school was a problem. Whenever people gave orals, or whenever a teacher was like lecturing, sometimes I just didn't like the pitch of her voice, and she probably didn't like me either, and that's fine. But like,
that's fine.
You know, it just makes it very difficult to listen to you all the time.
No,
you know?
it's crazy, small things, man. But yeah, look, I mean, you talk about learning and improving, just becoming better, like learning languages and learning to surf and stuff. And yeah, I think it's great, Brew. But why people are scared to do it? Don't you think? Like, people are scared to get out of their comfort zone, because I mean, what is the biggest fear? I think most people's biggest fear is to go back from its comfort zone shock, but it's failure, right? Like, what if I try and start learn a new language, but I just fail? Or what if I surf and I can't surf? It's like they're almost too scared to embark on the journey because what if? And then plant those negative seeds already. But I think the more you do it, the more you start to eliminate that subconscious voice saying, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it.
I think, oh, dude, that's such a good question. Like, I think a lot of people have the privilege. I think living outside of your comfort zone is a privilege. I think we should all do it, but I think it's a massive privilege to be able to do it. A lot of people, like, I look at, okay, let's give examples. So we have a dad that has, 3-4 kids, got his wife, got whatever. He works in corporate, works on 9 to 5, makes a very good salary, has to sit in hours of traffic a day, has to deal with all the office bullshit, has to deal with whatever else comes with it. he's not necessarily in a position where he can go, I'm going to jump on a plane and I'm going to go live here now because, fuck this. He can't. He has certain responsibilities in place that allow him not to do that. However, with that being said, there does come a time in his life when the kids are out the house. And, the kids have gone through college. They've all now got their own jobs. You and your wife are in a position where you've been working really hard your whole life. That's when I go, now it's up to you. Now it's your decision and it's your privilege to take it up. Exactly. Now, like, if you've spent 30 years complaining, I get that because everyone complains. Whether, you're a mother or a father or a son or working corporate or you're an actor or whatever, everyone has something to complain about. If you spend 30 years complaining and the day finally comes where you can step out of that comfort zone and you choose not to, that's when I'm like,
that's
okay.
on you.
Okay,
yeah. That's on you.
Then I'm like, dude, no more.
Some guys are in a much better position than others. I mean, I do still think going, there still is a bit of a choice to it. I mean, I see families here in this town who are like literally living in like a little mountainside cottage and they've got 3 kids and they're on the beach every day with the dogs and they're like loving their lives. And they say, even if it's for a 2-year period, we're just going to do it, we're going to suck it up because we know we've got enough. I mean, but also then you have to have the support system. So if shit does hit the fan,
exactly,
have a bank balance and bail you out. So there's a certain amount of privilege, but also I think balance is also the choice. Like, do you really want it? Or would you rather just live through somebody else on Instagram and be in your comfort zone and watch them? That's also fine. But once again, what works for you doesn't work for me. What doesn't work for it's.
But that's what's so cool about like podcasting and social media and all that kind of stuff is that my job is to show you what I know, to give you value in some way, and your job is then to do the same. So instead of living this life of looking at other people that live differently and go, he's wrong, she's so lucky, he only has it because of this. That's not the kind of the way you should be viewing things. Because there's 10 people behind you that are pointing fingers just as much. It should become a thing of, he's, involved this daily routine and he chose to step out of his comfort zone here and she chose to make this huge business decision and you should look at that and be like, cool, how can I appreciate that and take that and put it into my life and into my lifestyle.
Human nature is we love to nitpick on the negatives of other people.
Oh, we do.
We love to, and the more unhappy a person is, the more he likes to bring that person down to be on the same level.
Misery loves company.
And I mean, like, I don't mean to say this in a way that like no one's perfect, man. But like the sooner you realize that it's just you, man. It's no one else. Like as long as you maintain your integrity. You're not doing harm to anybody around you. That's the goal. And as long as you're not doing harm to anyone around you and yourself, and you know that you're living a life that you truly believe in is right, dude, that's all good. It should never be about him. I'm just like talking from the perspective of like, this is what I believe. I believe that everyone, like in my DNA and the way I'm wired, I just want to live out of my comfort zone. I want to be experiencing new things, and it's cool, man. Also in business, I mean, like, as soon as that's the reason, one of the main reasons that I got out of Frankie's was because, look, it's doing well, man, and it's a brand that's growing fast, and it's super exciting. We're looking at launching in the UK and the US when all this coronavirus ends. Why did I get out? Yes, it stressed me out, but at the same time, it stimulated the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, it will,
I would feel like I got into a bit of an operations role, and I wasn't learning as much as I could have, and stressed with funding to scale, and there were a lot of different aspects. But I wanted to get out of it because I identified through that role that I needed to get into a bigger business, a more established business, where I could apply what I'd learned in Frankie's, and I realized that was my true passion and my main strengths. Because when you do your own startup, man, you're doing the sales, you're doing the marketing, you're doing the product development, you're doing every single little avenue because it's too expensive to outsource all of them at the start. So you get a very quick understanding of what you're good at and what you suck at and what you hate. So I realized that in that journey, I love people. I wanted to be in front of people, talking to them, selling my product, building relationships, business development essentially, helping with businesses improve the communication. Also that sport background, it's very big on communication and making sure that everybody's super happy and content in their environment so that they can perform at the best level. So I brought that into business. So that's why I stepped out now. And this buddy of mine, I'm working with this engineering company. It's insanely interesting engineering service that they provide in oil and gas and renewables and whatever, pretty boring from a corporate point of view, but I've started just doing business development there, and I'm so out of my comfort zone, man. It is so crazy. I don't know what I'm doing, but at the same time, each week that goes by, you're like, shit, I'm learning, man. I cannot believe how much more I'm learning. Because you think you know what there is to know about physics. Well, look, I didn't ever think that because I've only been in for like 3-4 years. But there's always something to learn. And when you're in that comfort zone, there must always be like a flick of the switch. Like, dude, you're comfortable, get out. Like, get out. There's a dude here from Sweden who had a tech startup and was involved for 7 years, sold it off. Now he's just traveling and he's trying to figure out what the next thing for him is. I mean, he's got offers at like McKinsey and big e-commerce stores in Europe, and he wants to maybe start his own thing. But we both believe so much, and as soon as you feel like you're becoming comfortable, you've got to just flip the switch, man. Like, what's next? I've got to do something different.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with the business side, and I think that's where you're learning the most in business as well. And we're 3-4 months into this new role, loving life, man. Like insanely stimulating and big learning curve. So once again, comfort zone's a big one for me.
Yeah, that's awesome though, dude. I like that you have stepped out and benefited and learned. And I mean, I think everyone benefits out of taking those steps forward, stepping out of a comfort zone. And what's good about what you're doing is stepping out into a comfort zone, but at the same time, you still have the need and the drive to learn and to improve and to go further. So many people will, want to step out as a reasoning to run away from something, or as a reasoning for, I need change because grass must be greener on the other side. So I think, look, business-wise, shit, good calls, dude. I take my hat off to anyone that is good at that.
There is that, you just mentioned that question. I mean, my brother's such an old school, like, promise you, bro, he's like borderline military. He's just like really? Extreme 4:30 a.m. wake up, cold showers, cold swims, 1 meal a day, fasting, train. He's just big business. And when I said to him, look, I want to go, I'm happiest when I'm on the road. I'm happiest when where home is, where my feet are. I want to be free. And he looked at me and he said, be careful that you're not running away from something that's getting tough. Because that's also the question that's in your mind, right? You're like, am I running away because it's tough, or am I running away because I really just feel like I'm in my comfort zone and I want to try? Are you looking for an excuse to get out? I don't know. So the mind is crazy powerful, man. You can start questioning things. You can be negative.
It's hectic, dude.
But as long as it's working for you, it's big. I mean, I wanted to ask you, dude, because I mean, you've been in like a lot of acting. Have you been acting since you were a kid? Because, dude, I could never stand in front of people and like when people say to me, "Hey, dude, let's play charades," I'm like in my shell. Ruth, get out of here! Like I'm out.
Oh, really?
How are you guys doing, man? It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, acting is but I started in it doing theatre and like performances and stuff when I was like 10. But that was, dude, I mean, you're 10 years old, what do you know? So that was all about like, I just like performing and I like dress up and I like being center of attention and I like the stage and I liked, entertaining people. I like making people laugh, or, I would do a monologue or an oral and I could see that people were resonating with what I was saying. And that was more through high school. You'd deliver a message to people through performance and through, through catharsis of certain emotions and stuff like that, through human connections and stuff, and that's what I enjoyed, was just seeing that in people. And I think it's
what a skill to develop earlier, because
dude, it's
for the rest of your life, man.
It's something that I was saying to someone recently, in that like what's been so interesting about my career, one, I've been very blessed and very lucky, but two, I've also worked really hard, and I've backed myself extremely hard through all the decisions and steps that I've made, and put myself in situations that probably weren't completely necessary, but at the time felt like they were, because I've always been so dedicated to this goal. And my goal's still the same thing, and I still want to have a career and a life as an actor, and I have a lot of sideline things that I love as well that are very close to that, but that's just where my passion has been for a long time. And I've got so many friends that have pulled it off and are successful and doing well, and I'm so happy for them. My heart goes out to them and I look up to them. I think I've just been very privileged to live a life of, being able to do what I love, whether it's in a small way or a big way, or, for whatever reason, for whatever pay, for whatever it is. I've just been very lucky that I can be in that environment and be in the surroundings of something that I'm very passionate about. I also studied in marketing and advertising, did my specializations in brand management, and I do a lot of media creation stuff. And then because of that, started my own sideline business that does media creation and online marketing and stuff like that. And I used to do a lot of photo shoots of girls, like lingerie and swimwear and fashion, all that kind of stuff. Got bored of that very quickly.